Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to remove the standard thumbsticks from your DualShock 4 and put in the Xbox One thumbsticks. They fit perfectly. And you can see I've already done this, so you can probably get these on eBay, but everybody's probably familiar with the problem of the rubber from the DualShock 4 thumbsticks tearing off, so I decided to put the Xbox Ones because I read that they would fit. Just so you know, this is not something that's going to be typical of this channel. I normally talk about games, not about like hardware or mods or anything like that. But check out my other videos and you might get a taste of what I'm probably going to be doing in the future on this channel. Thanks for watching this though. So there are 4 screws in the DualShock 4 that you have to remove, and that's basically all you have to do, all that you have to remove. So of course you're going to need a small-ish Phillips head screwdriver. They are Phillips head screws. You'll need somewhere to put the screws, like so, and you'll also probably need some needle nose pliers to fiddle with the ribbon cables that you'll have to remove to get to the front of the controller. So anyway, now we're going to be prying these open, and be mindful of this, and I'll explain why you want to try to sort of crack it open and then lift up from the controller. I'll explain why that is later. But right now, just watch what I'm doing as far as prying this open. There are these little tabs on the inside. I don't know if they break or what when you open. You probably might break them, but even if you did, I don't think it would hurt anything. So once you get these cracked open, like so, what you're going to try to do is lift the controller up off of these shoulder, the R2 and L2. Because if you just pull straight back and pry it off that way, then you are likely to just pull the triggers off, which they just snap off, and you can put them back. You're not going to break them, and I'll show you how to put them back later. But if you can avoid it, I'd suggest avoid doing it. So here we are, and this metal tape here is there because I put a bigger battery than would normally fit in there. So we changed the view here and pulled off the battery. And that's one of the ribbon cables right there. That's what we're going to remove first as far as ribbon cables goes. Or I see here that I actually removed the other ribbon cable. You just have to pull that one straight off. This one's a little bit harder to get to. So I use needle nose pliers to remove it and to put it back later. But there it is, and that's for the digitizer for the touchpad, I believe. So you got that off. Now the next thing to do is there's one screw holding the motherboard for the controller to the front plastic, to the front faceplate. So we'll just pop that off. It's the same kind of screw as the other ones, so it's no trouble mixing up the 2 different kinds of screws because they're all the same screws. And here we go. And again, I had already switched out these thumbsticks, so just showing the procedure. You can imagine, I'm sure, what the ordinary thumbsticks look like in there. So here we have a close-up of the thumbsticks, and this is where I'm going to compare them. Now, I've heard that there are some other differences between the 2 different types of thumbsticks, but if you look, they look pretty similar as far as the shape of the dome and so forth, but you can sort of tell here that the Xbox One thumbstick is actually taller than the DualShock 4, and what that basically is going to amount to is that it's longer, so you have more torque on the thumbstick, so it feels like it's less tight, if that makes sense. I haven't had a problem with it. Some people will actually, I'm sure, not like that, but That's the only real difference in how it functions. Everything else, you have the full range of motion, and so forth. And I'm about to show you why you have the full range of motion. The thickness of the stems, as I'm about to show, is the same. We have this, and get it in focus. That's a hair over 9 millimeters. And so that's the Xbox One, hair over 9 millimeters. And then we'll just slot this guy in there and tighten it up to see if there actually is a difference. And we see, no, it's just a hair above 9 millimeters. Exactly the same. So if they were different, then it would create weird dead zones in your controller and maybe be less sensitive or something like that, or too sensitive, but it doesn't. So again, we have the Xbox One thumbstick, and we will place it back on there. The actual stick that it connects onto is fits perfectly. I mean, these have to be very similar joystick assemblies for them to fit so perfectly. Like, I think they're probably the same manufacturer. So when you put that on, remember to make sure you don't put it on top of that ribbon cable before you screw it down. And then we'll screw it in. So from here on, it's basically the reverse of everything else that you've done to get to this point. Put the battery back, and the reason I have the tape is because, again, it's oversized compared to the regular. This is a 1800 milliamp battery, whereas the default battery is a 1000 milliamp battery. So that, in theory, gets you 80% additional battery life. So here we are. We'll put the ribbon cable back. Again, you need the needle nose pliers most likely, and it shouldn't be too difficult to put it back. So then it snaps in. That's good. And I put it back together forgetting this. This is the reset button that might have fallen out. Just make sure you don't lose it when you're disassembling it. But I forgot to put it back in, even though I thought I had everything. And make sure that's snug in. You saw me a moment ago snap it out, and that was a pain. The one on the back side of the controller was a pain to get back in. It took me like 5 minutes. This one only took me a couple of minutes. Or less than a couple of minutes. It took me about 30 seconds. So we got all of our ribbon cables. And so in the event that you did pull off your one of your triggers, going to show you how to put it. It's just a piece of plastic and this little metal spring that you see here. So one side of the metal spring goes on the inside of the stick, and then the other one is in this slot that I couldn't really show. But if you look at it closely, you'll see there's like this thin slit where you can put the other side of the spring. And that's pretty similar. Again, this sort of doing this is the technique to put it back on to try to avoid snapping off a trigger again. So basically it's sort of the reverse of what I'm doing now. When you pull it off is what you want to do, and it's the exact same as the DualShock 3. You can snap those out of socket pretty easily. Now these two are the screw things. You have to sort of push the screw stems back in on the bottom there, snap it in as I pointed to, and then it all comes together pretty smoothly. And I sped this part up. This is just putting the 4 screws back. But I thought I'd give my overall impressions. I really like the Xbox One thumbsticks a lot better than the DualShock 4s. So I'm sort of glad that the rubber started to tear as quickly as it did, and it got me thinking what I should do about it. And I didn't want to put those weird third-party rubber covers over the thumbsticks, because I think those look awful. So that's about it for this video. Again, I'm not going to be doing many things like this, but I thought that this could be useful because I hadn't seen this done on YouTube yet. So if you're interested, check out my other videos. I'm going to be talking about narrative in movies and games and how they sort of relate to one another, and I'm toying with exactly how I want to do that. So subscribe if you're interested in that sort of thing, and like, share it with your friends. This video, if it helps you, that will be helpful for me, and I appreciate it. Again, thanks for watching.